We're gonna make spaghettini with shrimp. It's a super quick recipe and full of intense, sweet, briny flavor. So here I have 2 pounds of shell-on shrimp. And the first thing I'm gonna do is show you how to properly peel and devein shrimp. So what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna use the shells in this recipe. And that's because the shells of shrimp have a ton of that briny shrimp flavor. So you wanna take the walking legs portion of the shrimp, peel that open. And then if you're lucky enough to have some shrimp shears, or if you have a paring knife, you wanna take the shrimp shears on the rounded part of the shrimp and slice about 1/4 inch deep and stop right there at the top. Now what you'll have is properly peeled shrimp. Now pinch right here, right at the tip, and it should come off, just like so. So I'm gonna continue to do that. Again, reserving the shells, putting the shrimp in a different bowl because they're gonna go in at 2 different times. But I also just wanted to mention too, sometimes you will see a little black vein that runs down here, and you wanna use the shrimp shears, or you can use a paring knife and gather those. I always use a paper towel and just kind of gather those while I'm peeling and deveining. Now, most of the shrimp that you find in the grocery store is frozen right after it's been caught. So it's always a very fresh ingredient. One last thing to note if you're shopping for shrimp in the freezer section is on the bag, next to the word ingredients, ideally, you only want to see the word shrimp. Sometimes you'll see shrimp and you'll see another word that's very, very long and hard to pronounce. And that's a preservative full of salt. And that can often lead to slimy shrimp and shrimp that have a bit of a chemical taste. So try to find the stuff that's just shrimp. And now the last thing we're gonna do with our shrimp before we cook them is we have to cut them in half crosswise. So I'll show you what I mean. You're just gonna take the shrimp just like this and cut it right down the middle. That way, it'll give you more pieces of shrimp throughout the pasta. I'm gonna finish cutting these shrimp and then we're gonna prep the rest of the ingredients. Okay, a few more ingredients to prepare before we can get cooking. We're gonna mince 5 cloves of garlic, which is a good amount. But we're gonna be cooking this garlic nice and gently. And the best way to mince garlic before I put it in my garlic press, just to give it a good little smash, just helps to separate the skins from the actual clove of garlic. Okay, now I'm gonna chop 1/4 cup of some fresh parsley. And we need a little bit of lemon zest and then some lemon wedges. Whenever I prepare lemon wedges, I always like to just clean off that inner side, just so you can ensure that somebody's not putting their teeth through that pith there. And then I'll do you another favor too. If you're coming over my house for dinner, I'll even take the seeds out. And it makes it a little easier to squeeze. Okay, I'm using this rasp style grater. I'm just gonna do about 1.5 teaspoons of some lemon zest. And that'll give us a little lemon flavor. There's a ton of lemon oil, those essential oils in the peel as well. So you're gonna get all that flavor just by adding a little bit of zest. Okay, I am going to clean up and then I'm gonna head over to the stove. Before I start the sauce, I'm just gonna turn on my pasta cooking water. And now, so this is the upfront cooking that we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be adding those shrimp shells. So I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of some olive oil in my 12-inch skillet. I'm gonna heat that over high heat until shimmery. I'm gonna cook the shrimp shells 2 to 4 minutes until they're spotty brown. But it is important to go in there and stir often because you don't want any of the shrimp shells to burn because of high heat. Okay, so we have achieved our spotty brown, and you'll notice I just turned off the heat. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna slide the skillet over to a nice cool burner because I'm gonna be adding some white wine. You want a dry white wine for this, but it's important to do it off the heat because it's gonna steam quite a bit and you don't want any open flames, otherwise you'll be flambeing. right, so the bubbling subsided, and now it's safe to return it to the burner. And I'm gonna heat the shells and the wine over medium heat and simmer for about 5 minutes. While the shrimp shells are simmering, you can see I've got my water up at a boil. I went ahead and added a tablespoon of salt, but I'm gonna drop my pasta, and when we come back, it's gonna be time to eat. All right, pasta's done cooking. I'm gonna reserve some pasta cooking water, about a half a cup, before I drain it. And that is gonna be part of our sauce. We want some of that starchy goodness. All right, we are just a few minutes away from eating. So we have our shells here, the shrimp shells. So just add that to the fine mesh strainer. Now I only let this go for about 5 minutes. And that's because the shrimp shells at that point have done their job. They don't really have a lot more flavor and love to give. So I'm just gonna press on this. You want about 2/3 of a cup. And this is super potent, delicious, sweet, briny shrimp flavor. All right, transfer these over here. And now at this point, the dish comes together super quickly. So you wanna have everything prepared. And I'm gonna just give a little wipe with these paper towels. Put the skillet back on our burner. And I'm gonna put the heat to medium-low. Add a little bit of more of the extra virgin olive oil. And now I'm gonna cook some garlic for about 30 seconds. And you'll notice I added the oil and the garlic at the same time and brought them up to temperature together. And that's gonna be another way to ensure that the garlic doesn't burn. And now I'm gonna add that shrimp wine mixture. And now we're gonna add the shrimp and a little bit of salt, just about a half a teaspoon. And we're gonna cook this until the shrimp are opaque, about 2 minutes, and you wanna cook it covered. Oh my goodness, this is something special, folks. All right, I'm gonna add our cooked shrimp into the Dutch oven that has the pasta in it. Look at those shrimp. And remember, we cut the shrimp in half so that there's like double the amount. So every bite, you're gonna get some shrimp in with it. And now we're pretty much done. Just have a couple more things to stir in. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of that reserved cooking water. Again, it's got that starch from the pasta. So it's gonna create a really nice silky sauce. I'm gonna add the parsley and that lemon zest. Wake everybody up in there. And finally, 4 tablespoons of butter. Now you're probably wondering, why is she adding butter? I'll tell you. That is just to give a little bit more richness, a little bit of creaminess to our pasta. And you'll notice I'm adding it now as opposed to earlier. And that's because you don't want it to, it doesn't really need to cook in there. It just needs to coat the shrimp, needs to coat the noodles, and it's just gonna help get it to that next level of silky perfection. So I'm just gonna toss this until nice and coated. And the butter is melted, getting my forearm workout. Thank you, pasta. I'm just gonna add a little bit of pepper because we added the salt earlier. So I just wanna round out that seasoning there. Time to taste our shrimp pasta. It smells so good. All right, let's give it a taste. I feel like I'm swimming in the pasta ocean right now. I've got that briny, delicious, sweet shrimp flavor. And we use spaghettini pasta, which is great because it's a delicate strand pasta. And thin spaghetti is also perfect for this dish. But you got that parsley, the lemon zest, a little bit of that lemon. Again, we didn't do lemon juice. Oh, I almost forgot. Lemon wedge. Now that lemon zest did give it a little bit of lemon flavor. A little lemon wedge is necessary here. You want just a little bit of acidity. The amount of shrimp flavor in this dish makes it totally worth that extra prep in the beginning.